Here we go. Welcome to session one. Session one is last week because we did an extra special blind coaching session. So that recording hopefully went out last week, but I have a little bit of a feeling that the recording didn't record. So I'll do that again for you another time. But welcome, we've got Michelle here with us today. Hey. Do you want to say hello?
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry, Joe. To introduce myself. Sorry, Joe.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Michelle.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Brody. Some of you might know me because I'm the Children's Services Volunteer Coordinator. So I just popped on this morning to say hi.
Oh, you got two for the price of one this morning. And I'm Jo Smith, for anyone that's not met me yet, because I didn't actually introduce myself. And I'm the lead for Volunteer to Career. So we're just going to do our session one. So great timing. Michelle needs to dip out at some point during the sessions. Don't worry if she just disappears from this recording. It's all planned.
I'll just leave, Jo, and then I won't saying I won't interrupt you or anything. I'll just leave.
That's fine, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, but you can join in at any point between then and now as we go. Because it's open. Anyone can join in at any point, ask any questions at any point. I'm just going to share my screen so I'll get our little slideshow up. Because I'm really excited for this one because Michelle is the model on the front cover. So we can't get much better than this. Let me know if it's sharing.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yay! Oh, brilliant. So this is our week one of the program, a Volunteer to Career Support program, and we're going to talk mastering self-care so that you can thrive in your role. So who wouldn't want that, no matter what your role, whether it's a volunteer role, whether it's a job. Hopefully Michelle's going to get a lot of value from this next 10 minutes before she needs to shoot off to her next work. But that's the content for today. So hopefully this will enhance your understanding of the importance of self-care. Hopefully some practical ideas, strategies. More than anything, we're going to release ideas from you and just basically creating a supportive community for everyone. Is this working as I'm scrolling down? Because normally it's a click slideshow. Right, we'll do this quickly just to get us into the good headspace. So let's just share one word that describes how we're feeling right now. What one word pops to mind, Michelle? How are you feeling right now?
Optimistic.
Yeah, that's always a good way. Yeah. What am I? I'm all excited always comes to my mind because always, even though I might not feel well before I click go, as soon as I get going, I always feel excited. Always allows me to feel really good being in these sessions because they're always really powerful, and we know that even those watching back on replay are always messages and getting a lot from them. So let's just go for it. All about self-care. I've got a few quotes because I found this really interesting when I was looking at the quotes, because two of them, they're pretty much the same thing, and I thought, have I copied and pasted that wrong? But actually they're very similar, but they are a bit different. So we've got Audre Lorde, who says self-care is not a self-indulgence, it's a self-preservation. I'm going to do it in a weird order, but this is the one that's similar. This Renee Peterson Trudeau says self-care is not about self-indulgence, it's about self-preservation. So it was so similar because they're both saying it's not about self-indulgence, but it's about self-preservation in a tiny little bit of a different way. So I don't know, I quite like that. And then Katie Reed says self-care is giving the world the best version of you. I really like that. Instead of what's left of you, dragging yourself in, like literally just crawling to try and be here, there and everywhere. So let's give the world the best version of us rather than what's left, because who wouldn't want that? I like that one. So we will just have a little think about what it means to us, because it's so, it's so different for different people. For some people, what might pop up for like well-being and care, like for some people might be very different. But yeah, have you got a few? We'll think for a few minutes, I think Michelle's taking a call right now, so I'm just going to explain what pops to my mind about self-care and well-being. For me, I guess it used to be doing like years and years ago, the thing about looking after yourself, caring for yourself, doing what I enjoy. It's never really been anything about getting pampered or having like nails or things done. For me, it was just about time for myself more than anything. So, I kind of hinted on this next bit already. I was saying like I never really thought of it as pampering or having a bubble bath or face masks. It's not just about those things. It is more of an actual deliberate practice of doing things that we know support our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So the things that we know support us to feel good, you know, to generate that really thinking space where we start to really feel our thinking and what we really enjoy in doing. So yeah, definitely when we're opening up our thoughts to about what is self-care, then it's more than maybe what might pop to mind, you could say. So some of the things that people would do like deliberately, like they would do knowing that that's going to be boost them looking after themselves, so that there could be that best version to show up in the world, like we like from that quote that we talked about. Might be things like what I mentioned for me. What they meant for me was like, you know, I enjoy that, so that feels good for me. Nutrition, getting extra sleep, just the emotional elements. So these are the types of physical is quite a big thing for me. But for a lot of other people, they might have a preference over the emotional types, whereas that might just be like talking with other people, you know, helping each other to come up with solutions. So stress management, emotional kind of awareness. For some people, it's the social. So like having those connections, or maybe even having boundaries with some connections. Other types would be spiritual, maybe like the meditation, headspace, getting out in nature. There is honestly no end to this. It's pretty much infinite because there is an infinite amount of different types for different people. That's how I always explain it, because we're all so different and we all do things so differently. So, and then you could split, like I said, that you can split it into 4 types just for simplicity. So you've got like professional as well. So this is like that work and life balance, development of skills at work, and all of those kinds of things. Because there are actually acts of self-care. Because if you're learning a new skill that you're enjoying, and that's boosting your well-being, so it's all interlinked and connected. So I just thought I'd split that into a little bit of a few sections. But you know what, have a little think for those of you. Have you ever felt guilty for taking time to actually care for yourself? Like, I reckon if we had a big room of us, and I've asked this question before to big groups, you don't get rarely anybody that doesn't raise their hand. It's like literally a full room, and some people might even put up 2, because it's such a universal experience of experiencing that guilt for taking time for yourself, where you feel like, actually, I'm not helping other people here. Other people are missing out on a slice of me. So yeah, we get a lot of hands up in a big room there. And I always stop and think, why? Why is such an important element of us being able to be the best version of ourselves and show up in a way that's meaningful for others, that other people are going to get more value from, but why we feel guilty for doing something that is so powerful and helpful. there we go. It really is something that's shared. It's a shared feeling that other people will understand and they will appreciate. Okay, so I mean, I hate to give, I mean, it's just for the sake of a presentation and being able to give information in a way that's meaningful, but I'm not going to lie, I do not like giving examples to people about what is self-care, because I personally prefer to have a conversation with another person and find out what feels good for them, because I could do an endless list of thousands and thousands of examples and they may not enjoy any one of those things on that list. So I encourage you to really just think beyond the example and just, you know, just see what pops up for you and trust what pops up for you. So if there's something popping up to mind, and I'm giving an example of mindfulness can be really helpful, or breathing exercises can be really helpful, or physical exercise can be really helpful. Please, like, just go beyond that and just see what pops up for you, because I can guarantee you that you're the person that's got all the knowledge and the wisdom on how is the best way for you to practice self-care. Nobody else has got that. So just see what pops up for you, and don't believe that if somebody's saying you need to run because running's good, yeah, if that doesn't feel right for you and it doesn't pop up and it doesn't feel lined up with who you are and what means something to you, then don't believe that that's you have to do or force anything. I know it's a little controversial and you may be thinking Joe's going a little crazy right now, because I've never heard anyone saying that before, because I know I'm often going from an understanding that's not common known to the world of healthcare, and I've been in healthcare for 26 years now, since I was 16. Those of you thinking, how old is Joe? He can work out. So I'm 42, so I've been working in healthcare since I was 16, and we've always been going from a different perspective, but I've seen with my own eyes and experience and my own experiences on what's been beneficial for me, and I've constantly done what I felt that other people have told me was good that didn't feel right, and I went against all of my own inner wisdom about what felt good for me. And the day that I stopped doing that was the day that I got a lot of enjoyment from doing things. So I hope that you can come up with a good example just while you're reflecting on this. So that's the reason why I put in different tips and things like this, just to give you some ideas. But yeah, if anyone did want to have a chat and see what pops up for you, I'm more than happy to help you anytime. Just get in touch. So let's think about why. Maybe I should have actually started with this in hindsight. Like, why is it critical for volunteers? So this is a really good way of looking at this. I love this example. Think about the safety demonstration on an aeroplane. And if you've been on an aeroplane, then don't worry. What they usually do is they'll always do this demonstration where they always say, no matter if there's an emergency, there will be some oxygen masks that will pop down from above your head. And they always say, put your oxygen mask on before helping others. Okay, so put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. And often, if you're in a room of people and if there's an emergency, what would you do? A lot of people would say, I'd be running around helping everybody else, believing that was going to be more helpful. But if you were on an aeroplane and you did that and you literally forgot to put your own oxygen mask, you literally would not probably make it past the second row ahead of you before you collapse on the floor. So I love this example about safety demonstration, because we can really use that to help us in the rest of our daily lives. And it can really help us deal with that guilt that putting two arms up for feeling for that time that we are taking time to actually make sure that we're the best version, healthiest version to show of ourselves. So knowing that can be really helpful for a lot of people who've never looked at it that way. So put your own oxygen masks on before helping others. Such a lovely principle. And it applies to volunteering, it applies to everything in life. Because why does it apply? Is because of the major benefits that outweigh the negatives of not doing that. So you're going to get yourself from being that passenger on the plane that is collapsed before they've made it past the row in front of them. It's going to increase. This is like definitely a game changer because you're going to be more effective. You're going to have a more powerful impact on those around you. Those around you, they're going to rise above with you. They're going to want a piece of your action. They're going to be like, wow, look at this amazing volunteer who's showing up and full of, you know, energy, and everybody wants to join you and be on that journey with you. So you're going to be more effective. You're going to find it much easier to make decisions rather than being overwhelmed and being confused. You're going to be very capable of trusting your thoughts process, trusting what comes up for you, because when you're going from that place of energy like that, is very powerful. You know how clear our mind can be. So like I say, you know, other people are gonna really experience a positive example, and they're gonna want to model that. So it's so helpful for other people. But more than anything, your life satisfaction, how you feel, how you see the world is magical. Like, I'm not even kidding. And this could be just something so small and simple, some tiny little thing you've thought of that weren't there before, that you go away and do. So I'm just going to create a scenario that will hopefully also help you with getting rid of that guilt feeling, you know, that we don't keep putting the arms up, because I'm a huge when I do that. I do that big time. I give myself a hard time. And just knowing this allows me not to do that anymore. And if I do that, because we all have days where we have a little bit of a lapse in mood, which then we have a lapse in our understanding, that's when the guilt comes in more easily. So I'm going to just read this one out, this scenario. So from a volunteer's perspective. So when I first started volunteering, I thought giving 100% of my time and energy made me a better volunteer. Like, I'd skip lunch, I'd stay late, I'd take on every task. Eventually, I felt burned out. I was just so exhausted that I could no longer continue, and I had to take a break. And the turning point came when I realised that the best gift that you can give to others is a healthy, energized version of yourself. Okay, so I really like this, because no matter how long I stand here and talk to you about how important this is, it's really, really difficult to feel it for yourself until you've experienced this, you've felt this, you get in. So hopefully, just by creating an awareness, we can prevent anyone having to go through a similar experience of having to feel really exhausted and burned out to the point where you really need a break from it. So I know it's not a group of us here live, but we can just have a little reflection and maybe just think and share one way where neglecting our self-care has impacted on our volunteering. And I'm a volunteer too, so I can do this for you on behalf of anyone watching back on the recording. So I volunteer in quite a few areas of my life. So I lead a hula hooping group. In the background, you'll see hula hoops everywhere I go. And I also volunteer and I lead a group for trail runners, and it's a trail therapy tribe. And we do off trail training where we do a live session once a week. And that's my other voluntary work. And how neglecting my own self-care has impacted on my ability to show up as the best volunteer possible in those sessions is that when I force myself to stay up late and work and work and work, I know that before each of my sessions, I experience a lot of panic and worry at times if I'm feeling really tired, and I'm neglecting that element of care about getting sleep, because sleep's a really important element of my self-care. But when I neglect that, it does impact on my volunteering, because before I volunteer, I get really anxious and nervous, whereas I don't experience those feelings when I have when I have enough sleep, because my mood doesn't dip so to the point where I start to experience that. So that's hopefully a really nice way of explaining how that might affect just that little lapse in self-care and how it's impacting on my volunteering. And the other big way that it impacts on it is I then don't look forward to it and enjoy it like I should do. So fortunately, that's not a regular occurrence, and it's just every now and then that'll happen. But yeah, that's my example. And now we've got a few fun activities to do. So I'll just quickly talk through this and then we'll do the fun activities. So how to practice an effective self-care. I like this framework. It's just a nice, easy way of remembering and just planting a seed in your mind. You don't have to do anything fancy or special, but they call it CARE. I like an acronym because I can remember easily. It's just a little framework. So it's just a reminder, really, just check in daily. How do I feel? You don't have to do any of these things, remember. You can just do it your way, whatever comes up for you. Just ask yourself the question, what do I need to do for myself today? So check in. Care, your C of care. Your A is assess the needs, whether it's physical, emotional, or time. So you've checked in, and it's like, well, what do I need? You're assessing what do you need. So my check-in, I'll talk you through an example as well when we go through this. And then you've got the R, that respond. So that's your intention. So what are you going to do for that? And then evaluate it, like, did it work? How did you go on? Celebrate it if it worked. So let's do a little example for care. So this morning I woke up and I was like, what do I need right now? And I was like, I'd check in, and I knew I needed to listen to something just to get me and boost me. So I did the assessment, and it was like, I probably felt like I needed something to boost. I'd say it was an emotional area. I do this indirectly. You do this anyway. You don't need to complicate it too much. So I knew that I wanted to play an audio. So I'd responded. This is me responding. I'm actually going backwards on something that just happens naturally anyway. So I've done and check in, because we're not having to purposely do this stuff. This is what you'll be doing anyway without realizing. And then I'd responded to it by putting on an audio that always lifts me, which I really enjoy listening to. So I quickly played whilst I got ready, whilst I brushed my teeth. And then afterwards, I'm not doing this on purpose, but actually I've used a framework that I didn't even know. I then decided, did that work? Did that make me feel better? Do I need to do something different? And then I was like, wow, I like that. So we're doing this anyway without purposely going through it. There's some people who are not in the flow of that. You see, I'm probably in the flow of doing that because I've got to a point where I've trialed out different things and know that little morning routines are helpful for me. So I adapt them slightly. They're not the exact same, but in hindsight, I'm kind of using this care framework and adapting what I'm doing based on how I'm feeling in that moment, rather than repeating the exact same thing over and over on repeat. And that's brilliant if you are feeling good and getting the results. But if you're not, then if you keep repeating the same thing on repeat, you're never going to get a different result. Like Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So we need to do something different. So this could help you to be more creative with that. And I'm going to get you now to actually create yourself a little menu, self-care menu. So you've got variety, lots of options. You're never going to get stuck. If you are feeling in a frenzy or you're feeling a bit worn out, then we know that we're not going to come with all our best ideas in those moments. So by investing a bit of time into doing that when you are feeling in a good space can help for those days where the weather changes and we don't feel so good. So what I'd like you to do is just, however you want to do this, on paper, on computer, write a little list. So we're going to use this, what they call the 5-5-5 method. We're going to write down 5 things that take 5 minutes, okay? And I'll do this so that anyone watching can do it too. You can pause it if you need a bit longer, but just so I know how long to take with the recording. So 5 things. This is self-care things, all self-care. So 5 things that take 5 minutes to do. Okay, I'm going to write these down. Okay. I've got hula hoop because I love hula hoop. I've got a little jog because I can do a 5-minute jog around the block. I've got a little, they're all activity for me. I've got a walk, watch a little video and listen to an audio. Okay, so that's me. I've got 5 already. And then I'm going to write down 5 things that are free, that don't cost a penny. Okay, some of those don't cost a penny anyway, but some of them do. So 5 things that are free I can do. Okay. Lie down. Lie down. I can do deep breathing. I can have a power nap. Loving this. And you can just sit and watch outside. Watch just what's happening in nature. Lie down, breathe. And then one more that's free. I can't have things like calling a friend because that's not free, but I could meet somebody, meet a friend. I can walk there and talk to someone or talk to a neighbour. That's free. Oh my gosh, I've got 10 now already. So the third part of this is that we're going to do 5 things that we can do anywhere. Okay, so 5 things we can do anywhere that we can. I could do a jigsaw. I could take a jigsaw with me anywhere. I could take read a book. I can read a book. Hula hoop always crops up for me because I take them all over in my suitcase. They roll up and fold up small. Running always crops up. Dancing, I can do dancing. That's 5 already. I could keep going here. I could keep going. Little hip workout, press ups, burpees. I could go on. So I've now got minimum 15 things that my self-care menu. So the next part of this session is that we're going to overcome those obstacles, okay? So time constraints. So that would be like the obstacle. I don't have time. I'm too busy to do anything that involves care. So the solution we've now got, well, we've got a good list here to deal with that guilt of taking that time for ourselves. So if we because obviously a lot of us do feel bad for doing these things, a really good way to get over that also that I've not mentioned yet is to sell it to yourself in a way that sounds more appealing for your brain. You've got to trick your brain, because when you experience a feeling that's a bad sort of feeling, like a negative feeling, your brain unintentionally creates more fear response. So if we can actually send a better message by saying, actually, this is essential to provide a better service, this is helping other people, this is a good thing, you've reframed to yourself, and you're more like, hey, I really want to do that, it's appealing, you're motivated to do it, you don't feel guilty anymore for doing it. So and also another solution to making sure that is going to happen for you is just find another person, an accountability buddy, we'll call them, somebody that you can share that with, share the experience with, and say, I did this, and or you say, I'm going to let you know when I've done this. So you could have a think about an obstacle that you face, and you could have a chat about it together and come up with a solution for that. So yeah, this is just an example really of how, if you've got an obstacle and it's like time's not letting me do these things, then you can just choose one of your 5-minute activities, reframe. If Jo Smith actually treats herself to a dance in the kitchen for 5 minutes, that's going to create a better service. I'm just going to go for it and have a dance in the kitchen. And I can say to someone, I could talk to someone and hold them account. They can be my buddy, so that I actually get on and do that. And I do this all the time with so many different people and friends. And they're like, Jo, I really want to get up and a HIIT workout, and I'm going to send you a message when I've done it. It's just such a simple example, but it's really powerful, because that person, knowing that they want to send me that message, boosts their chances of doing that by millions and millions. I know I'm extreme here, but it really boosts their chances of actually doing that by having that accountability buddy. Because if they didn't, it didn't matter whether they did it or not, even though they knew that was going to be really helpful for how they felt and their well-being. So powerful stuff. The powerful things are the most simple. So yeah. So just what you can do next is the self-care challenge, for next week. You can just choose just one of those self-care activities from your menu, because you've got a menu of a minimum of 15 goodies on there that you can. So just choose just one and just do it daily. This is where the 5-5-5s come in. Do it daily for 5 minutes, that's all. And just notice, does it impact on your volunteering, on your life, on how you feel, on how you show up with other people? And you're very welcome to share it in the via email to me. I can be your buddy, whatever you want to do, whatever works for you. So just remember that self-care isn't selfish, it's strategic. Okay, so I hope that makes it more appealing for you too. And we will do one more final fun task, because I love this one. I love it when we've got a big group, because what we're going to do is we're going to actually draw something. We're going to do a star. And, you know, I know it's middle of December. It's getting a little bit festive already. I mean, I've got my snow globe out already. I've got this out because I like that, because I shake it and I watch it settle as my mind quietens and relaxes. And it helps me to, that's another element of self-care for me, is just watching the snow settle in the globe. So yeah, we're going to draw a star. Okay, so draw a star on your paper. And let me just, they've got 5 points. I'm sure most of you are way better at drawing a star than me. There's my star. It's got 5 points. Mine looks like a jellyfish. And then at each point, we're going to write a self-care activity. Okay, so we're going to do a physical one. So a physical activity. And mine's going to be hula hoop, because I love hula hoop. And then we're going to do an emotional self-care activity. Okay, so I'm going to go with chat with friend. So I love chatting with people. Absolutely love having a good old chin wag. And then I'm going to do a social activity. So some of them will overlap because that chat overlaps with social, but a social care activity is going to be going to my running club. I was like, oh, hang on, I can't have that one because that might take more than 5 minutes. Sorry, we're doing the 5, 5, 5. Right, so don't be too strict. It doesn't matter actually. There's something appealing to you. I'm going to eat a snack with my daughter. It wasn't on my menu, but I've added it. Who cares? Doesn't matter. This is part of the fun. It's not strict. There's no right or wrong way. So just have fun with it. You know, don't feel like, oh God, that has to be a spiritual one. I'm not a spiritual person, or whatever. That it all lies within us. So have fun with it. So this one could be breathing for me. Breathing, slowing down and calming my breathing. I'm not sure if it's spiritual or not, but to me, it feels like it is. It feels like it's just tapping into my nature. So I'm going to do that, just my breathing. And then I'm going to have one more, a professional one, okay, at work. And I can, if I'm struggling for ideas, I can look back on what I wrote and see if there is anything in there that is professional. Lie down, go to sleep. I've got loads that are, I don't really have one actually. I'll just think of something new because I don't actually have anything that's professional. Okay, I've got one. I've got a new one. Before my meeting, I'm just going to have a few minutes to spin my hula hoop. Spin a hoop before meeting at work. There we go. Got one. That's time to myself to prepare myself. So, and the next part is just choose just one point, okay, from this week. So we've got one thing that we chose from our menu, and now we're going to have one thing that we've chose from our star. And I'm going to go with the hula hooping before the meeting. I like that because I've not been doing that, and I don't usually do that. Rarely. I want to do that more. So there you go. I love that. I've helped myself today with this session too. So everyone's a winner. And what happens when we help ourselves, put our own oxygen masks on first? The world benefits. The world benefits. I'll just quickly go back to that first slide from that quote that we had. Self-care is giving the world the best version of you instead of what's left of you. So that's what's going to happen. And good luck, everybody. I really hope you've enjoyed this session. I really hope that you've had some insights, ideas, something that's going to allow you to go on and just feel so much better. So a massive thank you to you all. You're absolutely wonderful, all volunteers. We really appreciate everything you do, your energy, your time, your dedication, your commitment. I could go on and on and on. It makes such a difference. It really does. I'm just super grateful to have you all here. Please email me, reach out to me, attend any of the live sessions. They're every other Tuesday. If you've got anything you're struggling with, please share, and I can adapt the sessions to be helpful. But yeah, really pleased to have you here on this journey with us, and I'll see you in the next session. So this was session 1, and this was mastering your self-care to thrive in your role. Thank you for being here, and have a brilliant week. Bye. I'm going to stop recording. I said bye and then I didn't stop recording. So this time I'll see you soon. Thank you.